Dire situation indeed. BNC's Astrid Martinez, she is live with what's next for landlords and tenants. Astrid, what's the latest?
Good afternoon. Well, when this federal program ends, it really clears the way for landlords to remove tenants from their home or apartments for failing to pay a month of past due rent during the pandemic. So for months now, we already know that a lot of tenants have started to receive those eviction notices, really giving them a tight deadline to either pay up months of backed rent or have the courts intervene. But experts tell me that removing a tenant during this still volatile and evolving pandemic will be much more complicated, costly, and time-consuming than in pre-COVID times, which is a problem that Californians actually are going to face soon. Their state eviction moratorium ends tomorrow, and numbers show that 7% of California tenants are behind on rent. This is according to analysis released by the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia. However, we did find out that tenants with unpaid rent can still get help, but there is a big caveat. If you've applied for state and local assistance and haven't been denied yet, then you can show proof that your application is pending, which means that most likely this can still help protect you from getting evicted, but this is only for now. There is also a state renter and landlord assistance program that is being used with money from Biden's administration emergency rental assistance program. But state housing leaders tell me that the program is complicated, and they've also actually been inundated with requests to help navigate this program. Tashani, back to you.
Astrid, thank you. And a lot at stake for millions hit hard by the pandemic in the coming days that could impact Americans, better yet hurt them. Joining me now to help us break it all down is Dr. Patrick Graham, a public policy leader focused on equity, diversity, and inclusion. We also have landlord attorney Alta Garcia Pierre Altabridge, and also joining us, Jared Lodholt. He's a public affairs specialist focused on finance and government relations. I'd like to welcome you all. It's a pleasure to have you. So, Patrick, we'll start with you. Even if the government is not funded, how could that and the expiring eviction moratorium in some states impact Black and brown communities?
Well, Black and brown communities face the largest incidence of eviction when you talk about percentages. And so one of the things that this will do is actually limit or erase a lot of the funding for housing that already been promised actually to these communities. And so when you have that happen, of course, then the states don't have the resource to actually ensure that people have a safety net under them, particularly a place to live.
Yeah. What protection are there for renters who are in need of protection as well? Because we know they're also impacted. Altagracia, can you hear me?
Yes.
There you
yes,
are.
Shani, absolutely. Absolutely.
No.
Hi.
Hi.
So what people can do there? The money's there, right? There was $46 billion, over $45 billion allocated by Congress and the state government, right, in order to help tenants with emergency rental assistance. We know that in New York, where my firm is located, there's about $2.6 billion. There was about $2.6 billion dollars allocated to New Yorkers. So renters need to apply for the money.
I think what's also interesting about your state as well, Altagracia, is the fact that we had a guest and they said that it's the eviction court that's handing out the money. I couldn't think of a better person to be doing that. Are you noticing that's paying off?
There is a state agency, absolutely. So there is a state, absolutely. So since the new governor came into office, she has been much faster and much more efficient at getting the money handed out. She started a marketing campaign, right, in order to get people who needed the most to know that this exists. The weird thing about this ERAP, the emergency rental assistance, is that it's targeting people who may not have internet, who may not have Facebook, who may not have all these things that we take for granted, right? So yes, the money is being doled out. If you do go to housing court, it is being doled out by an agency called OTDA, which has hired many contractors in order to facilitate the applications being processed. What we know is that if you're brought to housing court, one of the main things you will be told is to apply for it. So there's no way for you to avoid knowing, because the attorney, the judge, they will tell you you should apply.
Yeah, but every state should do it. But I mean, if you can't pay your rent, how do you have cable and internet and all that other jazz? But what do I know? Jared, can you break down what's at stake if the government is not funded and the country defaults on its debts?
Absolutely. I think the easiest answer is to check stop. So that's Medicare benefits stop. Social Security stops. Federal employees, they don't get paid. Troops don't get paid. SNAP benefits don't get issued. So I think there's an immediate stop in dollars that flow from the federal government to Americans, whether they be employees or folks who receive benefits through various entitlement programs. But you're going to also see a ripple effect in the markets, right? Where if we default on our debt, well, a lot of debt around the world is held in American bonds. And so that means interest rates will go up, right? So for your consumer debt, that means your credit cards, your mortgages, so forth. The cost of the risk associated with the American dollar goes up because our faith and full credit is in question if we default on our debt. And so the consequences, I think, are potentially devastating. And even though we have a stopgap measure in place to keep the government open through December, there's a broader question of whether or not we can keep it funded. And Treasury will want to run out of dollars potentially in mid-October, as was the previous understanding. So, again, I still think until we raise that debt limit, which I think is still an open question that Congress is still having to figure out, if we don't pay the bills that are already due, this isn't new money. This is dollars for spending that has already happened. You will see lots of Americans who no longer have that check in the mail that they expect every month, who don't get the benefits or who don't get paid. And you can imagine how that would affect Black and brown folks who over-index as folks who live on fixed incomes, federal employees, the post office, you name it. We over-index in terms of our how much we receive from the federal government. So the consequences here are potentially catastrophic.
Absolutely. I mean, when you think about the wealth inequality as well, typical Black household holding about $24,000 in wealth, according to Brookings Institute, with the white family having almost 8 times that.
Right.
So we already know how that's going to impact us. Patrick, if the government is not funded, how could that affect the relief money that renters and landlords are so desperately waiting for right now?
Well, as my good brother just mentioned, one of the things is that money stops. And so you already have promises out there. Remember that this debt ceiling is to cover existing commitments, sorry, new ones. And so if you can't cover your existing commitments, then that means that many of those people who are dependent on eviction prevention dollars, states that were dependent on it, landlords that want it, they all lose. And so ultimately, we're going to have to raise that, but come away at a more equitable tax formula that actually allows billionaires and multimillionaires to pay their fair share.
Yeah, and we also know that'll impact our credit as well. So that just adds another layer to a dire situation. Alta Gracia, we got to go, but I'd like for you to get the final word.
So, I mean, folks need to apply for the rental assistance. There's a lot of money out there, right? So far, it's still out there, right? Again, in New York, it's $2.6 billion. Folks should seek the help of an attorney, paid or unpaid, right? There are a lot of resources to divert evictions, right? And talk to the landlords. Tenants should talk to landlords. Landlords should talk to tenants. Payment plans, right? Deferments, anything that's needed, abatement of rent in order to stop the evictions from occurring.
All right. Thank you to our illustrious panel for joining us. It was a pleasure.